Your LC today is Can I Write a Poem from the Perspective of August? So we've been learning about perspective and point of view recently in English. Imagine what it would be like on that first day of school if you were August. Well, we've all been there. How would you feel? What adjectives would you use to describe this? These feelings, the descriptions. What would it be like entering the building? How would you do it? What adverbs would you use to describe how things happened? What would it be like to enter the corridors or the classrooms? Our work today builds on some learning earlier in the year when we learned about Ruby Bridges. She was the young girl, you remember? She was the first black pupil to go to what was previously an all-white school. And many of the parents were unhappy with that. They wanted to take their children out. She had to be taken into the school and away from it, under guards, the US Marshals. Now, of course, over time, there is a lot more integration of children in schools. You don't have schools where white people go to and where black people go to. That's wrong. But she was one of the first to go to, and certainly the first to go to this particular school. So she's a great inspiration to us all. And of course, as Augie looks different, people may see him differently. How would that feel for you? Put yourself in his shoes, figuratively. Here are some ideas for how to structure your writing. The first stanza of your poem might be about being stood in front of the school. What was it like? The second stanza of your poem might be about entering the classroom and the feelings that you have. It could be about the part prior to actually entering the classroom, being in those corridors and hallways. What was it like? The third stanza of your poem might be about entering the classroom and the events that actually happen in there. And we've learned about some of those events through reading the novel that happened actually to Augie. Think back to Miss Petosa, how she stops for a second. And of course, remember the poetic devices that you can use. I'm going to be a bit strict on this one. I don't want to see any acrostic poetry this time. So that's the type of poetry where each line, or verse in the case of poetry, starts with the first letter of a word that goes down the page. You know the type. We've done them with so many different things, and happiness, love. So no acrostic poems. However, use stanzas. You know what those stanzas are? They are groups of verses. On the next few slides, I'm going to place the slides which we looked at yesterday. These contain some of the poetic devices that you may use. And there's a really good example in one piece of work yesterday, which I was very impressed with, when the person actually used something we haven't mentioned called an idiom. And that's a saying that you might use different words for. So, for example, examples are always better in this case. The person used the idiom, I know it like the back of my hand. So we use idioms, sayings quite a lot. Pause wherever you need to.